Hey, 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 welcome to my Virgo channel. If you guys are new, my name is Laura. I'm going to do a general message for whoever lands on this. Also, someone won their free psychic reading with me today. Supposed to be doing my free readings. Well, what channel? Oh, on the Virgo channel. And we have just been going back and forth and back and forth, almost like this weird, like almost as if it's retrograde, though it's not retrograde, which is kind of perfect when you think about it, because then I can describe to you what my readings are all about while we wait for her to come on. Because most of you are going to catch this live stream in the archives. But understand too, like whenever you land on this message, if you listen to it just because I was doing a live stream for someone else, you can resonate very much with somebody else's message. Spirit works like that. Spiritual energy works like that. So I always like to use my deck first, which is the Psychic Soul Healer deck, because I like to look at the psychological and the emotional blocks, which are considered spiritual, the spiritual aspects of ourself that are in balance. Hi, Liz. I'm actually waiting on a live stream right now. Um, but I am right now just talking about the types of readings that I do. I said I'm waiting on my live stream, and I kind of felt like this vortex energy where, like, we've been literally trying to get on since 2 o'clock, like since 1 o'clock. It's been an hour of back and forth, like almost like this weird energy. And I said that it's perfect, even though you might say that's not perfect. That's energy, is like it's weird energy. Oh, you're the one that's getting the reading? Oh, okay, cool, because you look so pretty with your little hula. You know, that looks like a Hawaiian girl. Sorry, you needed to take a drink. So I was saying how, like, it was good because our energy was like, there was almost like this vortex. Right. It's like, and I think it's great. And I think it's great. I think, and you might be like, what's so great about that crazy energy? And I said, because it gave me a chance to explain about my readings, even though you came on like right away. Um, it's that it let me start the reading off with, again, we look at the spiritual blocks within a person's life, and like what we just experienced almost was like, why is this so difficult? What is the vortex that's trying to stop me here? Like what is, and so we both have that energy because we're both really sensitive. We are really sensitive. We're really intuitive, and we really do try to do the right thing. We're like, I don't understand where is this energy coming from? And it's really annoying. Like, and so there's right, right. That's what I'm saying. Of course you did, because it was there. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing. You're never going to be someone that can fake it. So why I feel like spirit brought you to my channel. Again, you're a spirit. You have a spirit inside of you, and it's love. And it's like, again, and it attracts to like-minded energy, right? And it draws to you what you feel. So you're like, okay, what the hell is that? Right? Like, and God says that's the energy that you need to clear about yourself. And we both have it. It doesn't mean that we're not good in what we do. I feel like you need a little bit more direction. I'm not going to lie. Right. And that's why I said it's funny. It's perfect. Because I was like, I was at the point, it was like, what the fuck? I said, God, I said, what's happening here? This is my first live stream and I got on the wrong channel. And then all of a sudden, my intuition, God came into my brain and was like, click, 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 click. You're on the wrong channel, like because you weren't grounded. And we don't get grounded as highly sensitive people. We get caught up in the emotion. We get caught up in what it can be, what we can make it into something. It's again, and there's this element, and people tend to take that from us. And so there's a sense of not being grounded enough. So it's funny because it's again like there's a trust issue. And that's where the wound really is. I say that because it's like there's a sense of, with our sensitivity, sometimes we get reactive again, and the reaction is we get highly, we're highly sensitive. Highly sensitive people feel things and they can manifest things, but that also means they can get in their own way because what they fear also manifests and does so because you can be reactive. So reactive could be like things need, everything has a process. And so, and this is why I'm saying, so you're probably right now on the verge of like, again, not creating stuff for yourself. And there's a sense of, yes, seeing yourself differently, but also not having enough structure or support in what you want to do. And so, and there's also a sense of, I don't 100% know what I want to do. And there's, and that's, though you do, but you don't. And that's when I tap in. That's when you're not never going to get anything good from that because it's the uncertainty. So you have to say, why is that? And it's because you haven't fed it enough. You haven't created enough. So I'm feeling like, I feel like a few different avenues. If you're right, and so it's and partially this is to unlock your DNA. Your DNA is your heritage, what you come from, what your parents showed you that you could have, what people perceived of you through what they thought, but not about, again, the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. That you're not giving and receiving of love. So it's again, there's a sense of it. Listen, even your shit here, which is like bliss from Guam, like it's so beautiful. I mean, and I can tell that there's a lot of intuitive and creative abilities. So in needing structure, you say we have to look to like things like school. And so that might mean take an online class. You're welcome. But take an online class. Take, you know, take like something that's going to like feed you to see yourself differently, to create yourself. It's like you get strong within yourself. A highly sensitive person needs to be strong within themselves. Otherwise, they never feel strong within themselves. Because their own mind will overstimulate their body. And so, and that's because it's in our mind is very strong. God made it to manifest because we're sensitive. So we see things, we can feel things, we're into it. And then it's also there's a lot of emotion there. And again, we're passionate and creative. So I'm saying it's like utilize those things. It's like you, and whatever it is, feed them and don't share them with your family. A lot of times, don't share them with people that might, I'm saying in the beginning. I'm saying in the beginning. And I don't mean that to say, but this is a very honest channel. And because healing is all about a lot of times realizing that you grew up with other people's perceptions and it was whatever was going on in their time when they were raised, what was going on. You're clearing root chakra imbalances. So there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of spiritual energy, there's a lot of that. So, but you need the structure. So you can't afford, money may be an issue. So you're like, okay, where can I start? And God says, start where you are. And so you start where, and you utilize what's in your environment. It's like, and you use your internet and you go online and you begin to create yourself because God says you haven't created yourself enough. without creating yourself enough, that's going to be a huge problem. And if you're here to like unblock DNA, it's all about realizing that sickness and disease is only 5% inherited, which means that you've inherited behaviorisms. And that's, again, thought patterns. And you'd be like, it's a root chakra imbalance, which means you got to be grounded. You got to be in your body. You got to be in the moment. You got to be in the now. This is a connection to Father. So your healing connection to the Father, but not through your Father, but through connection to, you know, God, the universe, Father that works through you, the Spirit, again, that works through you, that works through your environment. So there's a sense of, you know, yeah, of not wanting it, but also not wanting to betray and go against. There's this sense of not created yourself enough. When you create yourself enough, you break those DNA patterns, because again, your behaviorisms do that. So, you know, like in creating yourself. So you can look into like things like, I'm feeling holistic health coach. I could feel like a healing. I could feel like stuff spiritual, like and create yourself. Creating yourself is all about, again, patience. Again, realizing that, again, mastery comes in doing. So maybe not having enough patience and having an unrealistic expectation of how fast things are supposed to go, and realizing again that your mind can get in the way. So patience comes in the grounding, in the creating of yourself. And remember, Tom Ford doesn't just go out and make a shirt. He went to 10,000 different runway shows, and he got an idea from that guy's button. He got an idea from that person's double stitch. He puts everything together, and then he gets inspired by mountains, and he gets inspired by color, and he gets inspired, and the own spirit inside of us creates, becomes, and that energy becomes so big that first of all, you do have patience, because you're not saying, oh, what's going to happen, because you're being guided, you're living your bliss. You're not, this is how you let Jesus per se take the wheel. This is how you again create your heaven on earth. This is how you become, again, this is how you ground the spirit. This is how you become of love. This is how you raise your vibration. This is how you can stay in a good relationship and not be in a codependent relationship, which is what spirit is saying, which is how you would break your DNA. And because naturalists, it's natural to you, again, that this path, it's what you've always known. So it's always been there. And that could mean that your mom and your grandmom and people, again, like did this. Again, you live on an island. So like I'm sure that there's certain rituals, and that there's certain foods, and there's certain customs, and there's certain heritages that are natural to you, that you can incorporate to not lose who you are, which is important to you, but then also by creating yourself, by becoming yourself, which is what's natural, which is what I'm feeling. Because you're like, how would that, how? And God says, why are we looking everywhere except for inside? Inside. So that there's this imbalance, because that's really the most important thing, because you were in your mind being like, I need to figure it out, I need to figure it out, I need to figure it out. And by looking outside of you, you can't look outside of you. You have to look inside of you to say, oh, this is what's important to me. This is what I love. This is what I'll always remember. This is what I grew up on. It's again, we have to utilize, and even if it's the pain and the suffering of our families, that is the gifts that our ancestors gave to us. where my father had cancer 9 times. He was a teacher for me. It's again of what not to do. My mother is a constant teacher for me, and she's gone because I still fight with some of those things. So again, when you're on the path, it's an unfoldment process of becoming, of remembering who you are. And so that is what is connects you to money. That is what connects you to yourself. And that is what will make you feel safe, not trying to figure it out. And oh, can't figure it out. And this is what always happens is work out, where that's where your mind goes, because that's where it's inherited, because that's really what happened, but it wasn't integrated. It wasn't integrated. So again, breaking DNA, again, that's a big path. It's again, realize that like you're like, and that takes patience. It takes a lifetime, because God says that's going to take a lifetime. You're thinking that it's going to take a day. Like that's going to take a lifetime. Again, we learn about forgiveness in a full lifetime. You learn about patience. Again, patience, love is like we learn it because I love you. I deal with a person that takes a long time to freaking get it, man. Takes a long time to get it and really makes me reactive. Again, because it triggers me. It's again where God says again, unlock the DNA. It's again really, which is back to what your natural is that you're a highly sensitive person. So there's no issue. It's again, but there's an issue of that. That is the energy that we always seem to have to clear. Like, and whether that's you're cruel to yourself because at one point someone was cruel, or you're afraid that someone's going to be cruel. So that there's all this energy, right? So that is a message. Again, now spirit always makes me connect to a person first, because people have trust issues. And again, they to see the style. But if you have any, because if this is, what you want, what would you like me to look at? Because this is your show. So it's all about you. See, we're going to change the script today to it's not going to work out. The shoe's going to drop. I'm not going to expect too much. To it's my show. I can have whatever I want. My sensitivity is my gift. Because intuitively, I knew to connect with someone that I was going to resonate with. I can trust myself. I can love myself. I can count on myself. I can count on myself that I am first, and everyone else comes after me. Because if I'm not strong, I can't help anyone. And it's about walking your truth, but it's easier said than done. You have to have a passion. You have to have a passion for life. That's why they say Jesus died for your passion for life. Because it's again, where's your passion for life? It's again, that's the poem Footprints, that you're not stuck in like trying to control. Is that you're getting through your passion for life. That you're finding yourself, you're creating yourself, you're becoming yourself. And you're so busy, that's your passion, that you become passion, you attract passion. You don't have to manipulate anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to control someone else. And understand you're going to need that energy, because that's how you're going to train your man. That's how you're going to train your people that comes into your life. That's how you're going to train everybody, because you're going to say without saying it. And that's the thing. That's how boundaries are made. That's what will influence your family, not you trying to influence them. That's not going to work. People are not going to do that. So understand it's by you becoming it. Now, ask me any question that you want, because like I said, this is your show today. It's all about you. We're rewriting the script, and part of rewriting our script is we have to see ourselves differently. We have to see a different outcome. We have to see it, because again, I have a spiritual block. It always works out this way, which is limited, and which is not really that great. It's always like I always built it up better than it was. And it says it's again, no, not today. Today, it's again, we thought that it was that, but today it was different. Today, we rewrote the script of how we wanted to create our life. And how we wanted to create our life was with passion, through our individuality, through again, what means something to me, through again, giving and receiving of love. The right. So it's again about finances will only get stronger when you become of do this what we were talking about, which is ground, daily practice to train your nervous system. And why? Because you're reactive, you're sensitive. There's so being healthy and being strong is important. So a daily practice to like recondition your mind about what you can and can't have. So there's again that daily practice would have to be like listening to things like the law of attraction a little bit while you're getting ready, or some spiritual material, doing a little yoga, to again doing a little weight lifts, if it not yoga, if not, train your nervous system, get strong within yourself, take classes online, or find things again to create yourself, because you already know how you know what you want to do. You just again say, I can't do it, I don't have enough, and that's because there's no school. So take classes online. There's a lot of self-made healers. I'm one of them. I don't have years and years of school. I was born because I was born in an environment that trained me to think a certain way, to utilize my sensitivity, to use my survival mind again, really, because that's when you're in survival mind, you're in the intuitive mind, like an animal, into the creative mind. So it's you might have a daily practice, but you're not still seeing that it's anything, because you're not feeding things. So again, taking, like I said before, like a holistic health coach program, because otherwise, will your money get better? It's like you'll know it, because you're not going to be really passionate about your job. The best bet when you live on an island, because I live on an island too. I live in St. Augustine in Florida. And so understand you've been put in a place that you have to ground. That God's saying, like, it's not a coincidence that you wound up where you are. I need you to get into your body. I need you to create yourself. You have to transcend those limitations of your mind. This is a spiritual channel. So to say, are you going to make money? Yeah, you can go out and make money, but you wouldn't be happy. It's like, and it would be hard, and it would be all the things that you've been carrying around this whole time. And really, we want to transcend those. We're like, no, 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 no. I don't want to live from limitation. I don't want to live from struggle. I don't want to live from lack, because that's what, I grew up in. That's what I saw. That's what's there, where God's saying, yeah, I'm asking you to break the DNA. Your money has no energy. Money has no meaning in spirit world. It's again, it's used as a currency. So if there's a lack of, then that means that you're not feeling that you're up to par. You don't feel that you're on that level. And God's saying, it's like, that's not, it's again, yeah, that's why I'm saying this is a spiritual channel. Like I can't just say, hey, you're gonna make money. But God say it would be like, I wouldn't be doing you justice. I can't. It's like, because you're gonna be like, 20 years down the line doing the same thing, and then thinking, no, there's something wrong with me because I've really tried. It's really there. Really, really, really. This is fact. And God's saying, look, you're going fact, 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 fact. God says, that's logical. He goes, that's not spiritual. Spiritual transcends logic. God says, I transcend. I work my glory through you. I work through the most broken. It's like you're coming from limitation. Again, you have to transcend that. You can't transcend it like going the way that you're going. And that's the issue. It's like because you have everything there. It's again within you. It's again that you've even said, I've done a lot. I have a lot. I've taken classes. God's saying, okay, great, but who cares? It's again, create a structure for it. I don't know how. Then hire someone to make a website for you, to create yourself. And that might be teach classes that you learned. Is you have to start where you are. You wouldn't teach them the same way that you learned because you're different. You would add your twist to it. So it's not, you're not copying someone else's material. You're becoming like what I said before, how Tom Ford doesn't just go out and make a shirt. He went to 1,000 different runway shows, inspired from several different things, not just other artists that do what he does, but also the mountains and like colors and artwork and different foods and different places that we get to see is how we create ourselves because it's what means something to us. And so you haven't created yourself. So this is the issue because you're getting to this place of logical linear mind, which is I have to go get a job, I have to go get this, I have to go get that. Like it's when things become very left brain like that and there's a lack of spirit, we become really from a more survival perception. And because we're not viewing ourselves from a balanced one, because we're coming from a place of maybe society, what society is telling us, what our ancestors are telling us, and understand that's what they lived. So that's their reality, that's their truth, because they made it their reality. So you have a big job to do the way that I did. I had to go against an entire family and walk away from an entire family in order to prove that point. And I'm 52 years old. And now people are starting to be like, maybe she had a point. It's like, again, I was saying that, complaining and saying what was the problem when I was a little girl. But people saw it as, oh, I was shaming family. No, the family was spiritually imbalanced. And it was because, sick goes to sick. My father had somebody that had cancer 9 times. It wasn't because he wasn't nice. He was very nice. He gave to everyone. He wasn't nice to himself. So again, spiritual issues are all about not liking ourselves, not coming from a true sense of truth. Again, and then we disconnect from ourselves, and then we'll disconnect from other people. And then when you disconnect from other people, you're essentially disconnecting from God, which is where sickness and disease is rooted. So this is why I'm saying, money is there. So what you say, well, that's great. How am I going to do this and that, right? Well, Spirit's saying it's like there's a lot of hours in the day. So it's again, patience. Look at that. I put the damn card back in, like the thing, and I shuffled again, and you pulled the same card. So, like, patience, finding balance. So that's why I'm saying it's like, can you get a job? Are you going to get a job? Are you going to be financial? Like, let's see. Because that's using a completely different deck. That's like using the Weight Rider deck to see. Which, like I said, I don't like to use it unless I can look at the spiritual issues first. Because, like I said, my job is not to like, oh, you're going to get a job. I'm going to get a job. That who cares? Anyway, you could get a job tomorrow. That's like, but are you going to feel good about yourself from that job? Because understand you work your job more than you do anything else. Are you going to be able to transcend your limitations of the beliefs about who you think you are and the world around you from the job that you find yourself? Or are you going to be able to do that by being led through the spirit that's inside you and that works through the world, is ubiquitous, is the universe? The universe, again, the logical mind will tell you, don't bank on the universe, don't bank on the universe. But your heart will say you need to like bank on the universe. Damn it, do not go the other way. And your family will say, oh, well, this. Well, guess what? If you're paying your bills and you might have to get up early, you might have to change. Again, highly sensitive people need to be structured. I know I'm not structured right now, but I'm purposely not because I spend a lot of time with my husband right now because of his health. But understand nine of so there's sorrow. Again, there's the sense of needing to transcend sorrow. I feel like that's the energy that you're clearing. It's like otherwise you would look for a job and you would be nervous. Again, this is the energy why we wouldn't again do that. And I feel like any job that you get right now, that's kind of the energy there. And I don't want to be like, oh God, is it gonna work out? Am I gonna get that job? Is it gonna be okay? Am I gonna like it? Am I gonna And of course you know already you're not gonna like it. And it's just because you're like, I don't even know what I like want myself. I don't even know. So how would you know what you like? You would only then be coming from a very superficial place of, I like what you look like, and I like what I perceive of you, but not deep because I'm not letting you get very deep to me because I haven't really created myself. I haven't really healed enough of me. So that would manifest as like, maybe like a codependent relationship or maybe a relationship where the person's detached. So that's why I'm saying it bleeds into other areas of life, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, it's not like you're meeting someone back in like 1940 where you were supposed to be home and it was okay if you just like looked pretty and kept the house nice and had children and maybe had a little part-time job. You know what I mean? It's like that's why I'm saying. So we don't want this energy. So you may have to walk into this energy and being like, but then you need to then create the light at the end of the tunnel, which is creating yourself, which means you don't have a choice. It's like, because it's like that. But I also do feel like, I don't know, I'm feeling this intuitively. Like, if there are like a lot of hotels and there's a lot of like touristy places near you, because obviously it's an island, that like to work in a hotel or to work in that type of environment, because that you'd be able to sustain yourself. But again, that's not, wouldn't be your dream job. That wouldn't make you feel good about like, oh yeah, it's exciting. I want to see what happens next. It would be a job, and that's what I'm saying. And nine of pentacles. So yeah, Nike came out reverse. So I'm not gonna lie. So it's like, and this is like status. So that's why I'm saying like nervous, because like you wouldn't be getting it. And that's like why I'm saying I feel like that's what you're transcending. It doesn't mean you can't meet someone and fall in love with them and have a nice life, but you would always feel like there was a little something missing. Right. There's a sense of, right, do you volunteer because that's what you feel like you have to do? Like that be it's like that's not why I'm saying you have to create yourself. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, why you have to create yourself. You're a creative person. Otherwise, you're gonna just feel like, I'm not lying. It's like overloaded. It's like I feel like, because what's happening is when you volunteer, you're giving of yourself, but you're not getting anything back. So then that's why I'm saying that would be um right. They would think. And that, well, that's the thing. I feel like that's what I said before. That's how your reading started. They don't understand. And that's why I said, I'm real on this channel. Like when I say, like, a lot of times you got to go, like against your family. And that's through not sharing with them. Don't share. Let them see what they see, let them know what they know, but you can create yourself online, take classes, learn, create a website, start a podcast, create an alias Facebook page or Instagram page under a fake name, under an alias. Um, I just made one for my client. It's again, she was a medium and her parents gave her so much problem that she actually stopped doing it. And so made her a new alias so that, her parents won't give her a hard time. Create yourself. Create yourself, because understand, who's gonna make your family change their mind is not you. It's the thousands of people that wind up going to you to pay for you. Again, and when God puts you in certain places and situations that they're like, huh, I never saw like her to be able to do that. No, because you were looking at her through your own broken perceptions of who you believed that you were, not who you are. And so understand, you're still remembering who you are. Man, and why I say that, it's asleep, it's dormant within you. It's what is your passion. But if you're gonna like be confined, it's not going I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like this is a healing channel. This is not a bullshit channel. That's why when I do these readings, I start utilizing, I use my psychic soul deck to look at the spiritual blocks. It's not about love. A lot of times it's like we love our parents, we love our family, but it's like we also tend to like have a hard time. Like everyone tends to take a position or role or play a role and then feel the need, and they don't want to detach. But then on the same token, you don't want to live their life either. And that's why I'm saying you can't change. A lot of times the perception is you can't change being in your environment, but God says you have to change yourself, not your environment. And so, and that means do something different. And that might mean, like to deal emotionally with them, to do yoga, breath work, again, create yourself. All those things you can utilize later on too, which makes you identifiable, which makes people be able to like really connect through the heart, which is again how your reading started. It's like there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of passion, but if I'm so stressed out about it, like it's never gonna be. And that's why I'm saying, can you create happiness? Of course you can. Can you achieve, like, again, get her, but whatever you want? Yes, you can. That's how God made us. That's how the divine made us, to be able to create ourself through, our passions, because then you're not moving you. You're just again interactive in life and doing what you love and getting ideas and inspired, and your intuition is leading you, and there's always a sense of knowing what you're doing. Are there bumps in the road? Yeah, just like how this stream, I was supposed to get online an hour ago for you. It's like, thank God my client isn't coming to the house until like around 3 o'clock, 3:15. But my point is, it's like God made it work out. It was like I had faith, you had faith. It's like that's what gets us through. It gets us through. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be problems. God says, you should be able to conquer that, especially where you came from. Realize, oh, well, there's just problems. It's just the way that it is. It's like learn to deal with it better. And that is what it's all about, right? So I wanted to just put that out there. It's like you'll get a job, but you're not really gonna like it. And I'm sorry to say that, but I think Spirit says it'll be good for you, because structure. It's like getting on like a daily practice, being consistent. really like saying, well, time's limited. And you have to say, and being uncomfortable makes us do things different. Again, makes us get out of situations that we would be too afraid to get out of. It's again, which again, that's how we clear that root chakra, which is what I said. Oh, well, you're on an island because God's saying you need to again ground yourself. You need to create yourself. And it's like, otherwise, you're going to fall prey to what the island has in store for you. And you don't want that. It's like, because then it's like, well, I'm just kind of like a local that works here. And you're like, no, I have to kind of rise above it, and that rise to yourself. But there are challenges. So that the only challenge is create the support that you'll need, because you won't be able to have these people clapping for you. Remember that. But if you're interactive in creating yourself, well, then that's not going to be a problem, because you're going to meet other like-minded people that are actually going to be clapping for you too, because they're going to say they're rising up for you also, and that's how you get your support. You can't, again, we don't change those people. We say again that we can't, because then you're going to utilize so much energy in trying to control that you actually lose what you're trying to create. Not worth it. Brings your energy down. Nobody needs it. Nobody needs it. And then this way you're just the vibration of love, because you're like, hey, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I know that I'm going to be able to create my heaven on earth. And I'm actually meeting people along the way that I can utilize or share about my business or get ideas, or they're telling me about other things that they're drawing my intuition of things that I should join, or things that I should participate in, or people that I should connect to. This is a root chakra imbalance again. Connecting through people is a second chakra imbalance, which is again finding your individuality. We're never connecting to people through our personal life or through, like, when I say personal life, it's like we're not sharing about, well, we couldn't pay the rent this week. We don't want to share information like that. And we don't want to share about my last boyfriend was a nightmare, or this person, like some drama. We want to come from a place of, hey, did you hear about that class? Yeah, I like that class. Or you want to see what I learned in this class? Or it's again, then you're looking at where you want to go, what you want to do. And now you have other people that are doing it too. And they're saying, oh, I heard about this, or did you hear about this? And they're free to, then the relationship takes on a synergy. It's again, and then you're able to again attract more like-minded people, stay more in alignment. Then when you go home, it doesn't matter that everybody at home thinks that you're kookaluka, because you're running around with a sage stick and a drum. They don't care. It's again, it doesn't matter, because eventually they wind up seeing they wind up seeing it. They wind up seeing it. It's again, God always does that. It's like lets your haters, or lets the people that didn't really believe. Sometimes they're not haters. Sometimes it's just like they just had so much doubt in themselves that they couldn't see it. But you're being used to heal, not just heal yourself, because you're healing yourself, but God is then using that action to heal other people of their perceptions. And a lot of people are not going to want to heal. So understand, they might disappear from your life. That's actually what happened with my two sisters. They don't talk to me because, again, their perception of who I was I was the dog of the family. Again, everyone had to play a role. I was the dog. Why? I had a learning disability, and I was a highly sensitive person. I was oversensitive. So that's what happens from trauma. So I froze a lot. And right, I became the unhealed healer of the family, which kept me locked in their perception until I became someone else. And then now it's like, no, we can't even deal with you, because then we'd actually have to look at ourselves. And we don't really want to do that, because we've actually like who we are by looking at you this way. So understand, you're going to deal with different levels of consciousness, and not everyone's going to be willing to change. Maybe not, thankfully, your family, Hopefully, there are a lot of outside, but you will have some family members challenge it. Right. And that's why I'm saying it's like you have to heal yourself first. Because in that, you become the unhealed healer, where you're healing everyone else, but no one's healing you. And it becomes a one-way street. And that's why I'm saying that would happen. You don't have to say, oh, I need to control it. What it needs to be is right now, you need to, again, there's plenty of time in the day where you can again take your classes and then become yourself before you get to that phase where you'd be like, oh, I'm having a hard time hiding this. Right now you can have plenty of time to create yourself. And then in that time, then you'll actually see other family members actually change and actually be on board and show them a different way, because I don't really feel like your family is as bad as what I had. I had very spiritually sick people. I mean, my father had cancer 9 times. My mother tried to kill me several times. I wrote it in a book, Healing the Effects of Psychological Trauma, because sick goes to sick. My grandfather came home from World War II, and he was very abusive to my mother. It was like because he had post-traumatic stress disorder, but he also had these paradoxes about himself, where he was captain in the New York City Fire Department, jumped off bridges to save people. So we see the shadow. And so the shadow parts of ourself, when we heal them and integrate them, they become gifts, but they're hard to integrate. They're hard, they're not as easy to integrate. And why? Because we're not just dealing with the wound, we're dealing with the outside world that is going to say, well, we kind of like you better this way. Because again, people would have to change. So just to put that out there, so you might want to start a podcast, you might want to start your own channel, is to do these type of things. I want to just say that, but I'm going to have to wind it down because I have a reading actually coming to the house in 15 minutes. Were you good with that? Do you have any other questions? If you didn't subscribe, did you subscribe to this channel, right? I'm going to see if I get to scroll down because I'm not seeing anything anymore. Okay, let's look at that really fast because I'm going to have to, like I said, your spiritual situation tells me that your love relationship probably, if it's new, it's probably very passionate, and if it's not that new, it's a lot of up and down. And that's, again, so there's a sense of sometimes is your person sometimes not nice, because I pulled that before on the other channel and I felt it. I was like, okay, somebody is with someone that sometimes isn't nice to them. It's like their soulmate twin flame. Okay, it was you. I pulled it on the other channel. You need to listen to that reading because I was picking up on that before, because I feel like that was pretty much what you wanted to know about first. You wanted to know about your relationship, and that came through really strong. And it came through really strong because it's imbalanced. And that's why I said, that's why you got all that healing information before. That spirit was like, before you do any of it. And you're like, before you like even try and even deal with that relationship, because this person already thinks that they know how to treat you. They already think that they know who you are. Doesn't mean that they don't love you, but they also haven't created enough of themselves. So it's always going to be like two people that try to get everything from one person. And God says, you can't do that. That's against spiritual law. I'm a jealous God. Me first. That's through you first. That's through creating yourself first by becoming yourself. It's again because the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. You're not, that's not there. You're giving too much. That's why this person gets too comfortable. They have their own healing that they need to do. That only God can change your mind and your heart. The universe, because God is the universe. The universe is love, by the way. That's why it's ubiquitous. We all have it inside of us. So by becoming it, by doing it, we can only transcend the limitations of who we believe we are. So it doesn't mean that this person doesn't love you. It's like a soulmate twin flame relationship. Hello. It's like, but nevertheless, this person does not treat you like you think you're going to talk, they're going to change. People are creatures of habit. Come on. You got to know that. It's like, and that's the fear. You're like, this person's not going to be different. And it's like, they'll be different when you're different. Again, soulmate twin flame relationship means I love this person, so I kind of can't live with them and I can't live without them. It's again, God says, what? Leave it alone. Come to a place of spiritual equilibrium by surrendering the need to control, because that's what came up in the other page. It was like the only thing that I felt like you were with someone that continually triggered you, that pressed your buttons, that did stuff like that, that was comfortable, though loved you. And there was this intense passion that this person thinks very logically, strategically, left brain, very factual. And then you think you're spiritual, you're again intuitive, you're creative. And so you're thinking too much. He's thinking too much that way, you're thinking too much that way. And God says, well, again, I bring someone into your life. Again, that passion makes you do something. Then I had pulled Promethean fire. And that Promethean fire card is all about passion. But it's not, remember what I said, God gave you your passion for life. So you have to get into that passion for life. And then what happens is this person, again, is a woman's job to bring a man to God. And that's through your passion for life. And that's because you're not worried about him. You're not controlling him. The moment that you control, the moment that you lose. And if you're saying, well, he doesn't do X, Y, Z. It's again, don't look for him to do it that way. Do it for yourself. He will wind up doing it. It's the need to control. The both of you get into this headstrong of, I need to control. You can't do that. It's again, you come from a place of love and surrender. So it's like, I don't react when people mention you. So it's again, yeah. So when it's on and off, like this person you feel like doesn't respect you. And that, but it doesn't mean that it's again, because you've treated them that way, kind of. If you're doing everything for them and you're not doing for you, then understand, then they begin to look at other people and they begin to, again, and then that keeps you in a low vibration. And God's saying, that's a spiritual test. It doesn't mean that they don't love. Don't put your thing on love. Only I love perfect. This person is a little again, messed up through what they've gone through. Okay. So I couldn't let you get close to me. So then again, there's a sense of, and I said that before in the other page too, if I haven't created enough of myself and you haven't, then your person hasn't created enough of themselves, well, then you're always going to have that little bit of intimacy issue. And then it's always going to be both of you don't really trust, because that's how it mirrors out, because I can feel that you're not really letting me in. And then what winds up happening is it becomes about control, and that brings you further apart. So understand, it's not a yes or no, because this is a soulmate twin flame relationship. It's about you not controlling, and that's really hard. And I say you because I'm putting it all on you, not because number one, he's not here, and number two, because you can't control him. You can only control you. So remember, that's how you heal. You're like, I don't really need to be put in this place. Now, don't mind that it's probably not going to be a smooth ride when you begin to change this person. Understand there's going to be resistance. You're going to be met with resistance. Because again, I like it this way. It works for me. It doesn't work for you. Again, it's not about control. And that's what this person needs to learn. They're not going to like it. Well, then you're never going to get what you want, because then they don't really have to change. And that's the issue. And that's the problem. And so in order for you to even make that person change, you'd still need to create, like, you'd need to create yourself to like actually leave for them to even notice what it would be like. And that's why I'm saying, and the only way that you would even want to leave, because now you have an emotional bond to this person, is to again have other options. And that would happen because this person likes what they see. It's not that they don't like what they see, it's that they're obligated. It's difficult. I don't want to walk away from my money. I don't want to walk away. And they're not going to think about you. Trust me. And it doesn't mean that they don't love you. It means they're going to try and take the easy way out because I don't have to think about you unless you make them think about you. And that's anybody. And that's about respect. And that's what I said before. It's like what I felt before. And that's why I channeled it out. You actually heal everything by creating, because otherwise it'll bleed out into other areas, and it has, because now this person isn't even nice all the time, and meanwhile it's like, are you kidding me? It's like, you're the one that's married, you're the one that's never around, you're the one that isn't giving me anything, and you're going to have an attitude with me? Of course he is, because it's going to keep you in that vibe. That's why I'm saying it's like, it's there's no judgment here. It's like, but understand that's why, like, people will tell you, and I'm sure I'm miserable in my marriage. I don't care. It's like, you're miserable in your marriage. So what? I don't have to be miserable in my relationship. And if I was with you, I'm gonna be miserable in my relationship because I ain't gonna get much. Because you don't have to change, because every time I say something, it's like, oh well, it's either my way or the highway. Of course you feel that way because you have someone at home. And that's why I'm saying, and then they never let you get close. And that's why I'm saying, it's like, no, they are able to departmentalize their marriage. And that's why I'm saying they departmentalize that. And I'm not saying that they're happy or sad. It's like, I feel like they're not really, they've learned to live with being detached, and really only when a person has like an awakening and really they can see, will that person change? And that's why I'm saying, I just want to make sure that no one texts me. That's why I'm saying to you, I want you to, I want you to be careful. It's like, because understand, you can be with someone like that for a long time, and they can promise and they can promise and they can promise. They don't leave. They don't leave. Usually what happens is a man will like leave they will leave a woman for what they perceive as better. And if you don't have a job and you don't have created yourself, they will not leave for passion. They will not leave a lot of times for love. They'll leave for what they perceive is that they are going to walk into a better life, whether that's emotionally better, whether that's financially better, but it's still better on some level. And right now, I don't like where you are right now, in that you're coming from the loser's end. And that's why I'm saying, you can't just rip this relationship off like a band-aid. You've invested time. So you have to be smart, and you still have to create yourself. And you're going to do that by joining passionate things that you're interested about, so you can meet like-minded people. And then in that, you will be brought somebody that is free. And that's why I'm saying, and that's how you detach from that. And it's something that happens over time, a lot of times, because this person has made themselves your passion, your happiness. And without it, then they hold all the power. And because they can emotionally manipulate you, that's why they feel so comfortable to be mean to you, which is why that came up before. It came up in the other channel. I want you to listen to that reading, because I was like, I literally had to go. I just kind of like, I felt like I hung up on them. I was like, okay, bye, gotta go. But it was like, because I realized I was on the wrong channel. But it's like, it's not about, does this person have feelings? The person has passion for you. They have love for you. But are they in love with you? They haven't invested enough. And they haven't intimately been able to, because they've been connected to someone else. That's what I know. And until that person drops that and actually comes forward and gives to you, then you're not working with anything. If this person has it's just passion then. And a lot of times it's here for a good time, but not a long time. And it's because how after a while you would want something, you would create, like, again, you would, and anybody would, and anybody would. That's your spirit, that's your soul. So I would have fun for as long as you wanted to have fun for, because at this point it's like, if it's not you, it's going to be somebody else. There's something missing, and that your person has an intimacy issue. So they can have love for someone, but they might not ever really feel connected. Again, and it's partially because they won't allow it. They the time that they had this passion for you, again, the soulmate twin flame is all about that passion for you, was the time in the beginning of the relationship that could have possibly, when this person was having a lot of huge problems within their relationship, but you have to train them then, right then and there. Meaning they have to see that they're leaving for something better. And at this point, like I said, where you are in your life, you just haven't created enough of yourself for stability. And guess what? Guess what the kicker is? Once you create all that for yourself, you would never want this person. You would be like, I deserve so much more. You weren't here for me. You haven't done, you haven't, again, whatever it is for me. And I've created all this for myself. I don't really, you haven't like contributed enough to my life. And really, this guy over here is just doing it without all that drama. I didn't have to live through all this craziness and doesn't have all this other problems. That's why I'm saying it doesn't mean that you can't have fun for a little while. It just means be smart, because I see heartache, and that doesn't take a psychic to see, that takes like to realize. And that, but it's like that energy, all that is leading, because I feel like this person, right, you deserve so much better. And that's the thing. But understand it is, if this is the only thing that you have on the menu, your brain is going to be like, no, I can't let go of it. So get invested in life. And like you said, and I promise you, you're going to not have a problem meeting guys. Then if this guy's going to do something, he's going to do something right then and there. Or he's going to let you go. And a lot of times they're going to let you go because he hasn't invested enough. And the other person that's attached to them can emotionally manipulate them. Anyone that's given anyone any amount of time can do that. And remember, she's the closest to him. So you have to hold firm and strong in that, and you're not strong enough. But I got to run because it's 3 o'clock. I hope that was helpful. And if you didn't subscribe to my channel, subscribe. All right. Thank you so much for being my first winner and my first live stream. Yay! I'm so happy. Like I did it. Great. Thank you so much. And like I said, you are my first live stream. So I definitely hope to see you again around. And thank you for being patient. And I will talk to you soon. And by the way, just so you know, that energy of it not working out and that energy in the beginning of it being really difficult happens a lot of times, like with a lot of fear. And I feel like being connected to someone like that, again, over time would create fear, because you'd be like, at any time, I'm waiting for this person to leave. Thank you. You two have a great weekend, and I will see you around. And be true to you. Remember that.